Hello and welcome to your weather forecast for April 1st, 2025. We are moving on to yet another new month. And if you've been wondering where I've been running into all sorts of technical issues as we are transferring systems between a PC rounded system to a Mac rounded system. So this is what I'm recording it on, and let's get right into the video anyway. So first of all, we have a pretty large storm outbreak that is happening today. Right in this area, we have an enhanced risk, 10% tornado risk today. And this is going to continue to impact a lot of us. And we'll see what's actually going to happen because we're going to have a large storm outbreak coming soon. Tomorrow through Monday is where this is really going to go crazy. So first of all, we have a pretty significant trough coming in on Wednesday, and this is going to allow for a lot of moisture from the Gulf to be brought up right in front of it, and is going to collide with a lot of the cold air, and the conditions are just perfectly right for this to produce some pretty significant severe weather. And this is, as you can see here, is just going to continue over the rest of the week and into the weekend, because this is a slow moving trough and won't actually move out until Monday, and we could even see some moisture left on Tuesday. After this, it looks like we're going to have a decent trough over the Midwest and Northeast, which will have some cooler air, and we'll also have some cooler air immediately coming in behind this system, but the cool air will just be more prolonged up here in the Northeast. So here's what this is going to look like over the next little bit here. So we are going to see our storms burst out right over here in the Central Plains, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri. We're going to have our first storms. And over the night tonight, we are going in into the morning, we're going to have some frontal storms here and some storms moving into Illinois, which we could actually have like 3 rounds of this severe weather in areas in northern Illinois. You have this first round over here and a second round, and then this is our main outbreak here. And what we're going to need to watch is for discrete supercells to break out in front of this over here, and there does seem like there's a great corridor for discrete supercells right in here, and probably more wind down here, but I think right here is definitely going to be our corridor, because that is going to be pretty significant. And further out from this, we are looking at more storms to move across the same region on Friday, right over here in the Ohio and Mississippi River valleys over here, and is just going to continue in the same region day after day after day until this would finally move out. And we're going to even have some snow in Texas, which is extremely rare in April. So we're going to see that come around, and potentially some snow if it gets cool enough over here in the Midwest. But it looks like there is definitely a chance in the Midwest and in the Northeast. Not very significant, if anything. And here's our cool air that comes in behind it. And it looks like we will have some sort of clipper come through. We're not exactly sure the dynamics of this, since this is Tuesday of next week, is just a week out from now. And we are going to see a potentially another system here, which is going to produce an interesting dip with some cool air coming in, which the Euro is only showing this, but now the GFS is showing this, and it looks to bring quite dynamic cool air behind it, which could produce some snow over here in the Virginias up into Pennsylvania, New York, and Canada, and then that would continue there. And beyond that is just too unconfident. Here's another possibility from our European model, or the ECMWF. This is going to have this prefrontal or pre-regular system storm line over here through the southern Great Lakes region, and then a widespread outbreak of storms. And again, this is just going to continue to have multiple storms over and over in the same regions. And the storms are not going to stop until like Sunday or Monday. And at this point, I don't think Tuesday is going to have anything significant, and it's going to be rather quiet with some cooler air coming in behind it. Also, our temperatures are going to be doing a lot different as we head into the next little bit. As you can see, our warm air just got pushed off by our cool air now, and we are now in a cool air pattern over here in the east, except for the very south. And then in the middle here, we're having some warm air and some cooler air over here in the west. And this warm air is going to start to move further to the north, which is why we're going to have our significant weather on Wednesday and Thursday, and that's going to push a lot of that warm air further east. But a lot of our really, really warm air is going to stay in the southeast, where the cold air is going to battle and go bam, just continue to go bam with it, and that is why we're going to have so many storms. And it just does not want to move. It's just going to continue to coming out here. As you can tell, it does not want to move. There it moves there. And it's just right there, the temperature boundary. And then finally, as we head into Sunday, it looks like cooler air will start to move in after some hectic weather and some warm temperatures. Whereas in the meantime, it looks like our plains are going to be quite below average as we head into the weekend. And here is our northeast cool down here, and that is going to linger for a couple days. And this is our cool air divot here that I think will go pretty far south, and it looks like it'll be below average here and way above average here. Overall, our precipitation is going to be rather consistent and persistent over these areas right here where the Ohio River splits off from the Mississippi River in southeast Mississippi, northern Arkansas into Oklahoma and Texas a little bit, and up through western Tennessee. And really the biggest state with this is Kentucky, and then southern Indiana and into Ohio. Really, this whole region could see some significant flooding, especially this area, because you're supposed to get over 12 inches of precipitation over the next week. And here is our risk today to the plains. This is an enhanced risk. We do have a 10% hatched risk, which means more significant risk here. And that is going to be one of our biggest threats today. But another big threat is going to be our wind. But even more, we have a 30% hatched risk for hail. And it all seems to be consistently pointing toward an area in northern Oklahoma and eastern Kansas. But this whole area in the plains could get some significant severe weather today and overnight. But as we head into tomorrow, things are looking a lot more significant because we have a moderate risk over here stretching from eastern Arkansas all the way to southern Indiana. And with this, we have a 15% hatched risk for tornadoes and a longer 10% hatched risk stretching up into northeastern Ohio as well. And our wind risk here is looking like it's going to stretch into Michigan with the most significant stuff. And back into Texas too. But again, our most significant stuff is going to be like right in here. And our hail risk is going to be a lot more displaced further to the west, it looks like. But it could be significant in all these regions highlighted in hatched risk. And our 30% goes from Texas all the way up to Ohio, with not the hatched risk as far, but almost as far. So we'll have to watch that. And yeah, tomorrow's going to be a significant day. And we also have a decent risk out for Friday. Anyway, that's it. All I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon.